Hello wotv players, I'm Jackie Fox, and today we're going to be playing through the Baylow missions, or Baylow missions, as I guess it is. So let me read this to you. And then, it was damn cold. Why was I surrounded by Wizette soldiers? One day, things were normal for Baylow Nowsville, and then he was Baylow. See notice for details. Baylow suddenly finds himself freezing in a freezing blizzard with Minwu, surrounded by reinforcements from Wizette and Surges, commander of Equito. So what can he do but throw himself into battle? For this fight, I am going to be equipping my Baylow with the Blood Sword and the Illusory Bells. He really doesn't have many TP buffs to really raise his AP, so it's going to be important that he gets AP up, and then I'm going to be running an accessory for my most possible agility, and also my best Esper. It's just kind of my best Esper. So from here, I'm going to look through my Earth Vision cards, and only have 3, so that's going to make this choice pretty easy. Just use the ones that are actually maxed, especially helpful that Secret Orders gives me additional agility, which is really going to be helpful for Baylow, and is another good reason to use bells. So with my build fully explained, let's move on and see how we do. So early on, you want to use probably Revitalize first. Go ahead and start getting that AP up. You're going to get buffed by Minwu. If you don't move forward, she'll buff herself as well, so that's helpful. And then I would use Courage and start moving forward, because you've got a lot of space to cover. Maybe even not buffing through here, because as long as you've got Courage and Revitalize up, you're probably pretty good. But if you want an additional buff, Sentinel's okay. I do really like Paladin as a sub-job for him, especially just the ability to draw tank when you're draw hate when you're indestructible is pretty useful. On this map, my Baylow is 140. Unfortunately, I couldn't 120. I couldn't 140 him for this event, but at 120, he is one-shotting everything with his basic attacks, so it's just a matter of getting between them. Unfortunately, couldn't get adjacent to that guy, so let's just come in from high to finish this particular map off. Now that is, oddly enough, going to unlock a whole new quest, as it would seem, which is certainly very strange in terms of like user interface, user experience. It usually doesn't happen like this, and in a way it's not like a mistake, and in part it's because of these title cards that you have to read, because I'm gonna stop Curry's plans. I'll save Glaciella, Macherie, and everyone. Baylow has become demonically strong, all thanks to Baylow's relentless grinding and farming. Meanwhile, Curry's scheming has forced Mont Glaciella apart. Seeing his best girl, Glaciella, in trouble, Baylow heads off to join her rebellion all on his own. My only real change for this one is that I'm going to be using Hio's TMR, and that is because that's going to offer me both defense, ice resistance, and fire resistance, and this is going to be just a 2v3 against 2 ice units and a fire unit. So all of them being physical units as well, that's going to give me pretty solid resistances and stacking resistances against all of them. And if I can get Glaciella involved in this as well, she should stay alive too. However, I am going to have to be functioning without all of the extra AP, which should be fine because Glaciella should be able to do some damage. And remember that if you can ever get these 3 to line up like right behind each other, even with one space in between each other, as long as they're in a straight line, you can run up to the front of them and use Trinity Break to hit all 3 of them, because that will hit the 4 spaces in front of you. Really handy if you can ever get it to happen. I've seen it happen in other runs, but in this one it just didn't occur. So here we've got the bonus. Unfortunately, no defense for Glaciella, but She'll be fine. She is at least resistant to one of them. And from here, really, I think the only thing that I can use that can hit all of them is going to be Taunting Blade. And when I say all of them, I mean the ones that are in the air. That gets rid of Luartha Forest. Now we've got Curry in the background. Curry's down as well. So I can start doing single target damage. And this is my powerful single target heal. If I get an additional critical, I also get the Blood Sword bonus. So this is really good in combination with the Blood Sword for healing him up. And then I believe you can stack that even further in a build that I'm about to show you, which I like to think of as the ultimate healing Baylow build. It's a little bit limited, even more limited than this build and even more special, but we'll get to see it in action. Just you wait and see in just a minute here. Our next title card is, we've got a snake fest on our hands. I'll just defeat Crystallite Beast Moraga, okay? Baylow has cornered the army of Finis all on his own. Before him stands Moraga, in the form of a Crystallite Beast, trying to sink his poisonous fangs into Valade. Not on my watch, cries Baylow, leaping to Valade's defense. And for this one, I'm going to be using Al's Shoulder Spike. This is going to give me an attack up and HP absorb buff. I get this twice, and this is going to be really effective in this match because I have a lot of AoE skills, and any AoE skill that hits even one panel of the Crystalline Beast Moraga is going to hit all of the snakeheads. So this is going to make it really easy for Baylow's Knight skills to become super duper effective AoE skills that should also do a lot of damage simultaneously, and that should, at least on criticals, bring back a lot of healing. And just a lot of healing in general when you combine that with an HP absorb buff and HP absorb on crit, and maybe even the single target HP absorbing move, although the single target move is going to be most helpful against the final form of Moraga once all of the tails have been removed. So we're going to hold out. And I'm also going to occupy this space right here because this one is going to stop the Crystalline Beast, now that he's locked himself in there, from really moving to anywhere else on the field. Technically he could retreat, I believe, but I think he's kind of like stuck in there for as long as I stand in this space. And then Valade's just going to run around and keep his distance and should never come into range for attack, which is good because there are a lot of other situations where Valade will get murdered. And I really think that it's important that Baylow saves Valade here and I guess rewrites history. Now, considering that the story quest, at least for like last week, maybe this, no, this was released with Dialdo. The story quest released before Roth actually explains that they are in this scene just before this doing some temporal shenanigans, and they changed the timeline themselves in a way that I'm not going to spoil here. But maybe because of their temporal shenanigans, Baylow was able to get into this fight in the moments before this and, like, canonically do this. Because I think the other parts of this mission are definitely kind of April Fool's gags, more specifically, but this one maybe could have possibly happened because of crossovers with the Crystal Void timeline storyline thing. Oh, don't you just love it when they introduce time travel into a fantasy storyline? Just all the complications. So after a little while, you are going to run into Baylow's biggest problem, where he really cannot buff himself to recover AP easily. So at a certain point, he's just going to start swinging, but even that isn't particularly strong. Although, do pretty good damage on a critical hit. Phalade out there, I think with Ruin, is doing a really good job of chipping him down as well, because we've got to keep up with this regen effect, which is bringing back about 800 HP per turn. But there we go, the Sapping Sword is bringing us all the HP, restoring us to full health. We have defeated, not only have we defeated Crystalline Beast Moraga, but we did it without anyone taking any unhealed damage. Congratulations, the ultimate healing build of Baylow is complete. And that brings us to the final quest. Was it Golden Stern you defeated? Founder, sir, you need to reflect on what you're doing. Seriously. Was it Golden Stern you defeated? Or was it Silver Stern? Part 1 reaches its climax right after the battle with Mont and Stern. Taking down the true mastermind just may bring this war to an end. Baylow's final battle is about to begin. So for this one, I'm going to swap back to the bells, and unfortunately I don't really have a good accessory for guarding against magic attack like spirit or magic attack, but here we are. The knight's armor actually would be pretty helpful here, now that I think about it, if I had been able to properly farm it for this account. This would be a really good application because a lot of the moves that are going to be doing the most damage here are magic attack based, but a big deal is the agility down and CT down hitting both of us. You want to try to be on other sides of Soddly as much as you can, and it's really hard to figure out how to not trigger that first one and get around him early on. But Mont can do pretty decent damage. He will have courage at his disposal, so as long as you can keep yourself healthy and maybe even draw the single target damage, become the tank of this fight, because while you may not necessarily be the tank that Mont is, you certainly do, at least in this build, have quite a bit of healing options going for you in single target. And let's just see how we do. Trying to get out of the splash zone, not share that with Mont, although especially when we're like this, he can always just kind of walk back and hit us with AoEs. Like it's really tricky to stay out of his theoretical splash zone. So I guess I'm going to draw some of his hate, and then draw some of his blood. And then we're doing pretty good. I can get the other parts of the debuffs. I can get both the Spirit and Defense debuff, which I don't get on triple, or Trinity Break. I can get all of those debuffs off of Dark Bahamut, so Dark Bahamut and Trinity Break can break all 5 of the mainest of stats you could have, and there we go, kind of by the skin of our teeth, but we made it. However, we did not build our chain, unfortunately, so there's going to be one more run in this video where I'm building that chain up properly. I can't necessarily say that it goes better, you'll see, but with that being said, I'll see you in the next one, and hey, I hope you guys see this. Get your phones, go ahead and grab them if you've had trouble. Check out some of the builds from this guide. I hope they help, and best of luck to you. In the meantime, you can, if you're sticking around, please like, subscribe, and one more thing, check out that link in the description to all of the other Jackie Fox pages, podcasts, other video channels, books, everything, ways that you can support the channel, all sorts of stuff, even a Discord where you can play games with us, all sorts of custom games that I've designed, and hey, let's have fun together. Anyways, see you later.